Hello, my name is Dr. Ruth Newstifter, but most folks just call me Dr. Ruthie. I'm a professional sexuality educator and a coach, and I blog over at exploringintimacy.com, where you can find all these videos and lots more stuff. But thanks to the good folks at funwares.com, I am bringing you this series of videos answering your questions on sex and relationships and intimacy and all that good stuff. All right, this question doesn't have a name. It just says Anon. Dear Dr. Ruthie, my boyfriend has asked to finger me, but I'm not sure what to do. I would be really grateful if you did a video on this so that I can understand this topic better. Thanks, Dr. Ruthie. You're very welcome, Anon. I will probably spend more time talking about what to do if you're female, Anon, just because there's more complicated stuff going on there. But we'll talk a little bit about both. All right, so first of all, what is fingering? Getting fingered or being fingered means that you're receiving stimulation from your partner with them using their hands and fingers. Now, sometimes this can be combined with other stuff, like combining fingering with oral sex, and some people manually, that's hands, manually stimulate themselves at the same time that they're having intercourse. Although people don't usually use the word fingering for that, there's lots of different ways to use your hands, and you can, kind of define it however you want, as long as you're good at communicating that with each other. So oftentimes people ask me, what do I do in order to do a good job of fingering someone else? And I don't often hear from people, what do I do when somebody's fingering me? That's a really, really good question and very important. The first thing is, before it even happens, decide whether this is something you want to be doing and whether you want to be doing it with this person or not. I don't know how old you are, but, if you're a young adult and this is a newer experience for you, then, you may feel particularly eager to give it a try, and that's great. Just make sure that this is a person that you're comfortable with. And if the advice I'm giving you makes you feel like you're not comfortable with this person, consider two things. One, maybe my advice is crap and it doesn't work for you at all. That's very possible. Or two, maybe this person isn't the right person or the right time or the right place for you to be doing this activity together. In order for your partner, let's say you've decided you do want to do this, which I'm guessing because you wrote to me about it, but it's totally a guess on my part, and you decide that you want to be touched this way. The first thing to do is have a conversation about it. Oh my gosh, that feels really, really personal and vulnerable and intimate and kind of crude, but it actually can be very positive, very sensual and stimulating to talk about this together. If you get shy or nervous or don't know what to say, that can be a wonderful way of flirting and communicating. This conversation doesn't have to lead to being sexual with each other, but what I want you to know is that it can be really positive and it can help to build intimacy and communication and arousal between the two of you as you're talking about it. So the same things that make it feel awful personal can make it feel awful exciting to talk about as well. So we want to have this communication with each other, and because you want to find out what he's thinking of, or what, you said boyfriend, so yeah, what he's thinking of when he tells you about this. Because there are lots of different definitions of fingering, so I want you to tell me a little bit more what you're thinking of when you say that. Tell me how you're imagining touching me. And then listen to what your partner says, and consider for yourself whether these things sound good to you, whether some of them sound good to you and some of them don't, so you're going to tell your partner, your boyfriend, which ones sound good and which ones you're not really interested in. Or none of it sounds good to you, in which case you say, wow, it was really sexy hearing about that, and I love sharing this fantasy, but I'm not ready to do it, but I'm glad that you told me. So listen to what they have to say. When a person is receiving fingering, it generally is happening in one or of two places if you're female. And it could be that you are being manually stimulated by your partner's fingers in your anus, that's your butt, or it could be in your vulva, which is your vagina and your clitoris. And here's a representation of your vulva. This is Mimi. She's my stunt vulva. Everybody's vulva and vaginal area looks different, and most people are not this set of colors, nor are they made out of velvet and satiny, silky stuff. But this is a good representation. If you have never seen your genitalia before, pull out a hand mirror and take a look. It's about time you got acquainted. Boys get to see their genitals all the time, so if you're a boy and you're writing to this, then you might not need a mirror, but it may be easier all the same. So let's assume you're female here, because typically when we talk about fingering, that's how it is. So your clitoris is up here, and this is the clitoral hood. This is where all the fuzz and hair grows, and the inner lips are right here. The clitoris is the home of the orgasm for women, and the vagina is down a little bit further if you part the lips. And I've done lots of videos that explain the whole lay of the land in this whole area. So check some of those out to learn more, and look for good resources like scarlatine.com is very good. So anyway, generally, if it's vaginal fingering and vulva fingering, your partner is going to want to use their hands and touch all over your vulva and possibly inside your vagina and possibly touch your clitoris. And the goal of all this is that it'll feel really, really good, and maybe you'll have an orgasm if you want to. And so that is the very kind of the point or the basics of it. Also, you can have your anus fingered, and that means inserting a finger or two in the anus or just rubbing around the outside. Whether we're talking about anal stimulation or vulva stimulation, the vagina is just the inside part, the vulva is the whole area, including the inside part. We want to use lube, and we want to be protected, and we want to be clean. So the person who's doing the fingering should have clean hands, take off the jewelry and stuff like that, and have a good body-safe lubricant. So going to the store and buying a product that's actually made to be a lubricant, whether it's anal or vulva. And if you are female and you get really wet and you don't think you'll need it, that's fine, but it's good to have it handy, because when we get nervous, or we take allergy medications, or any of a million other reasons, we might not get as wet as we want to. All right, so that is that's the basic point of it. Now, is your partner going to be very good at this or not? I have some really good videos on how to do a good job touching a vulva with your hands, how to give a woman hand jobs and finger her. And you might want to watch those together with your partner and talk about it with him, about what you liked and didn't like and what you want to explore and don't want to explore. I would also suggest that if you are not experienced with touching yourself with masturbating, that yes, start practicing and get some lube for it. Again, clean hands, and read or watch or think of things that tune you on, and just begin to explore. It's not goal-oriented. You don't have to give yourself an orgasm the first or second or third time you do it. You're just starting to learn your body and what kind of touches feel good, and then you can share that with your boyfriend and find out what kind of touches will feel good from him. And maybe it'll be the same things you like to do, and maybe it'll be completely different stuff, but you have a better idea of what you like and what good things feel like. As far as your body position and how you interact and move together, you know, I mean, the basic kind of way to get started is to just sort of lay on your back and enjoy being touched, but that is that's the stereotype of how it happens. There's a million different ways. You find the position that feels most exciting to you, that allows you to relax or be able to move in whatever ways feel the most exciting and safe and stimulating for you. And don't be afraid to direct and let them know, like, now I want you to try touching me here. Oh, a little to the left. No, don't go there yet. Go over here. I want to stop and kiss for a while. I want to stop and go get some pizza. Whatever it is that you want to share, make sure that you feel comfortable communicating with this person, because this is going to be a discovery process for the two of you. If you can get a mirror involved so that you can see with your eyes at the same time, that can really help you to learn a lot about the process as well. If your partner is really good at this and has a lot of experience, they may be able to teach you things about your body, or they may not. If they're very inexperienced, then it's really, you know, it's going to be even more so a process of trial and error. But no matter what, it should be the fun of exploring each other, because every person's body is different, and even different at different times. So even if they have a lot of experience, they're still going to have to learn about your body. No matter what, every sexual experience, including fingering, should be neutral at the worst, super, super awesome at the best. It should never be worse than neutral, and even then, you know, we want it to be on the positive side if we can. So if at any point the situation is heading down the wrong way and it just isn't feeling good and happy for you anymore, be prepared and know how to tell your partner that you want to stop or you want to do something different. That's if you can't say yes, you can't say no, and if you can't say no, then you can't say yes. So we need to be able to know how to say both yes and no and feel comfortable doing those things. Okay, that's a whole lot of advice. Hopefully that will get you started. I'm Dr. Ruthie, and thank you for sending in your question.